Okay, welcome back, everybody. This is Drew Van Zee, the Knee Pain Magician. So, in case you're new here, this channel is dedicated to active women 50 plus, helping them overcome chronic knee pain and regain mobility so that they can continue to enjoy their favorite activities, staying independent without invasive procedures. So, in this week's video, it's going to be a little bit different. Rather than coach you through an exercise, I want to help you get a better understanding of what's actually causing your knee pain. So if you've been told that you have osteoarthritis or are bone on bone, I want you to pay special attention because what I'm going to go over with you today is helping you understand that that's actually not the cause of your knee pain and what to look for instead. So every week I speak with dozens of women who are all struggling with chronic knee pain, and many of them are convinced that their pain comes from the fact that they are bone on bone. A lot of people say, the x-ray shows that there's no cartilage left. I'm bone on bone. You can actually see it. But the doctor said that there's nothing else you could do, right? So maybe you've thought the same thing yourself. Many of the women I speak with describe how they hear clicking and popping, and they can even feel the bones inside their knee grinding together. I totally get it. Obviously, it's very uncomfortable and that sucks. But the reality is those symptoms that you're experiencing likely have nothing to do with the condition of your knee itself. So I know that sounds crazy, but it's the scientific truth, and we're going to go over that today. So let me explain what I mean. So study after study has been done to try to explore the link between knee pain and bone-on-bone damage. And there's overwhelming evidence to support that there's actually no direct correlation between the two. So the fact is the majority of adults over 50 years of age, and it kind of goes exponential, 60, 70, 80, etc., have joint damage, whether it's in your knee, your hip, or your spine. But the reality is many of those same people, nearly half in some cases, do not have any pain whatsoever. So I know you must be thinking, like, how can that possibly be? Like, that doesn't make sense. What's the deal? So I can tell you I've been helping others professionally for about 10 years now. Time's really gone by. And I've worked with hundreds of women over that course of time with knee pain. And I can tell you without a doubt that the arthritis, or being bone on bone and not having any cartilage left, is usually not the source of the knee pain. When you improve the brain-body connection, you're able to get lasting relief. So that's what we're discussing today. Moving on to the next slide. So this is actually how knee pain actually works. So pain doesn't come from your knee, but it actually comes from your brain. And no matter what, at the end of the day, pain is always a protective response from your brain when it doesn't feel confident moving your body. Your brain relies on input from the rest of your body so that it feels connected, aligned, and confident, right? Input can come from your vision. It could come from moving your foot and your ankle, other joints in your body. It could come from breathing, right? When the brain and the body are working well together, your brain allows you to feel well and move without pain. Unfortunately, most therapy programs focus on your symptoms like knee pain because that's where you're having the discomfort. So it kind of makes sense, at least superficially. But the reality is the actual problem is coming from elsewhere. After helping hundreds of women over the past 10 years overcome their own chronic knee pain, I realized that the key is uncovering where the disconnect is between the brain and the body. Once you figure this out, your chronic knee pain will go away. You'll be able to get back to doing daily chores, working around the kitchen, doing things around your house, more fun, active things like hiking, playing pickleball, without the same level of hesitation, despite the fact that you've been diagnosed with osteoarthritis and bone on bone. So we'll come back to that. So over my experience working with people, what I've found is that the two biggest areas that women 50 plus tend to struggle with, which end up being the source of their knee pain, are poor vision and lack of mobility within key joints in their body. So these are your proprioceptive and your visual systems. Your brain relies on proprioception, that's an awareness and movement of your body, or mobile joints so that it can feel connected to your body and confident that it's capable of healthy dynamic movement, right? Whether you're going for a hike or playing pickleball. Your brain also relies even more so on good vision so that it can be aware of what's going on in your environment. You must be able to see and move well if you want to overcome chronic knee pain. So now I know this is just talk, and the hard part is actually connecting the dots and trying to figure out where your weak links are. Moving forward. So for you at home, what I'd like you to do today is think about where you're stiff and have difficulty moving your body. So this may be obvious, and oftentimes there are things that you have been dealing with for such a long time, it kind of goes on the back burner inside your brain. So I know for a lot of women who are over 50, one area that they seem to have a lot of trouble with that tends to go unnoticed is their feet. If you have bunions or hammer toes, or you're flat-footed and wear arch support, or if you consistently wear thick-soled tennis shoes, I can practically guarantee you that if you address these issues, your knee pain will get better. So related to this, oftentimes women will struggle with being able to move their toes, foot, and ankle properly. This means not having the ability to move through a full range of motion, but also not having great coordination. So first, start with taking your socks and your shoes off, just kind of examining your toes, looking at your foot. Oh yeah, that's right. I do have a big hammer toe there. I do have a pronounced bunion. I'm trying to move my foot, but I can't feel my toes well. So paying attention to how well you can move is a great start in understanding what actually may be the source of your knee pain. In addition to your foot, you can think about your hips. Hopefully you like my image here. If they feel stiff, sore, or achy, and maybe you've had an issue of hip issues before, chances are this is also contributing to your chronic knee pain. Now take a moment and realize that your knee is actually sandwiched in between your foot and your hip. So if there's a problem on either end, don't you think that it could have an impact on how your knee feels and moves? So I want you to think about when you're moving around your house, going for a walk, are there areas in your body where you feel stiff and possibly out of alignment? So maybe when you're walking, you notice that your foot tends to be a little externally rotated, or that you tend to drag your leg or walk with a limp. These are all indicators that there's a problem within the affected joint. So simply taking a little bit of time to practice moving these joints can help you immensely restore mobility, reduce stiffness, and also create a stronger link between, if you think about the previous image, your brain and your body. The better alignment there is between the brain and the body, the better you will ultimately feel and move. Okay, going to the previous image. So moving on to your visual system. Eye exercises, believe it or not, tend to give the most relief to women struggling with knee pain, but also can be a little bit harder for you to have clarity on, pun intended, on what the problem is and what to do about it. So I know many of you watching this at home will say, no, my eyes are just fine. I just had them checked out. But I can guarantee you that eye exercises can have a tremendous impact on your knee pain, reducing pain, reducing stiffness, improving the quality of your walk. Unfortunately, many optometrists focus on assessing rather than providing you with exercises that you can practice to improve your visual system in the way that your eyes work. Thing is, just like with any other muscle in your body, whether it's your biceps or your glutes, your eyes tend to degrade over time. And we tend to spend way too much time hunched over, looking at our cell phones, looking at small screens, which also have a negative impact. So as much as you think training your thigh muscles or building hip strength or glute strength, and that's going to be important to solving your knee pain, I can tell you that learning what exercises to do to strengthen your visual system will have even a greater impact. So just for you to start with, some red flags surrounding vision for you would be that you see double vision, or that your vision is blurry, or you have myopia or astigmatism, or perhaps you've had cataracts, or wear multifocal lenses. All of these things can and will have an impact on how you feel and move. So a couple of simple tests for you at home are: grab your steady pencil or your favorite pen. Can you track a moving object? Left to right, up and down, going in a circle, different directions. Obviously, I'm going fast to kind of demonstrate the exercise, but you could get a sense. Can you see single vision when an object moves towards you? You're paying attention to my eyes, following in, following out. When looking near or far, do you have visual clarity? I can see the tip of the pen there. I can see the video on the computer screen, moving back, moving forth. I have visual clarity. Because your vision provides so much information to your brain, even small, subtle differences that you may not be able to perceive in how your eyes work can make a huge difference and be ultimately the underlying reason of why you have not been able to get over or find a solution to your chronic knee pain. So I'm going to attach a video that has a list of specific exercises for osteoarthritic knee pain, and I encourage you to check that out. So stepping back for a moment, you need to be able to see well in order to move well. So your brain actually prioritizes information that it gets from your eyes before it relies on what's going on with your lower body or your knee. And your eyes, your visual system, can actually help tell your brain what movement is safe to do with your knee. So again, I know a lot of this stuff sounds, very counterintuitive and a little bit crazy, but time and time again, the women that I've worked with in my program are always amazed by how much relief they find in their knee pain by improving the way that their eyes work. Okay, moving forward. So when you can uncover where the break in communication is between your brain and body and develop that area, you will be able to finally overcome your knee pain and get back to living an active and full life. So here's why. This is called a threat bucket, and it's kind of like a visual analogy for how pain actually works in your body. So your nervous system is like a bucket because it can only handle so many threats or problems before it starts feeling overwhelmed. And just like a bucket, when your nervous system can't handle anymore, it's going to start to overflow. And this is exactly when you're going to have pain. So if you have issues with your feet, like bunions or hammer toe, or you have stiff ankles or hips, and your nervous system can feel stressed. If you have issues with your eyes, like double vision, and your brain cannot get a clear picture of your environment, that is especially threatening to your brain, and your bucket will quickly fill up. But on the flip side of that, when you finally get clear on what the actual problems are and begin to address them systematically through exercise, you will give your nervous system a chance to rest, and the chronic knee pain and stiffness you've been dealing with will finally subside, despite the fact that you've been diagnosed with osteoarthritis and bone-on-bone knee pain, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so hopefully today's presentation hasn't been a little bit beyond where you're at or too overwhelming, but rather it's kind of helped shine a light on how knee pain actually works in your body and what likely is contributing to the source of your chronic pain and stiffness. So if you appreciated and benefited from today's video, I always appreciate your support. If you can click that like button and subscribe to my channel, that would be great. And in addition to that, if you're someone who's really been struggling with chronic knee pain for some time and it's been holding you back from feeling good in your body and enjoying your life, whether that's going for an amazing, couple-day hike this summer or going out there consistently playing pickleball with your friends, and you've tried a lot of different approaches, whether it's working with a physical therapist rather, or an orthopedist or multiple other things, but you haven't yet found lasting relief, I encourage you to watch a longer presentation that I have specifically on the brain-body connection and what you need to overcome knee pain and find lasting relief. So if that's you, I'm going to provide the link at the bottom of this video and at the homepage. So I encourage you to check that out. That's it for me this week. Always appreciate you, and I look forward to speaking with you next time. Okay, bye-bye.